Hey Lunar fans, the King of League Runners of the Godston is here for more of my game build developer commentary. This will be number 2 of my actual game build stuff. Remember I said in the past about developer commentary number 1? I'll say it again, this is my Epic Mickey Wii version of this in Minecraft. So anyways, we can now begin with level 1-2, Slalom of my game build. Level 1-2 is the second level to be conventionalized, or conceptualized to be more specific. I think I'm going to say that word anyway. There's a little to say for a bunch of scrapped commands. At the start of the section, you see a gremlin trying to fix the door. Unfortunately, I had to change it a bit, where it shows you saying like you had to talk to Gremlin Taisto and said he has the key but needs to know how to make it. That's the actual idea I had made, but I had to scrap that anyway for that. But I know in the actual gameplay itself, in the Wii version, you have to either paint in both of the gears or destroy the gear in the middle that Taisto was trying to fix. I decided to scrap that idea entirely, but I had a little grammar issue of having to be like, he has the key, but he doesn't know how to make it, so I completely removed it, and now, to be more specific anyway, which I did actually fix, by the way, for the grammar, I put a chest that has a key with a particular command in it. So it's like the previous one I told you guys about the specific blocks for breaking stuff or placing stuff. This will be your kind of almost first introduction of one's placing blocks. When you place the key on a specific slot and use it to activate the door, Taisto will also ask you to help out with another quest and mine as well too for steam pipes. There's a total of 4 steam pipes that are leaking a whole lot of steam. When you have all 4 of those patched up, you'll be rewarded with a quest completed and whatnot. But if you just continue through, but not even actually patch up the pipes for Taisto, you'll fail the quest entirely when you're continuing through. But bear in mind, I did hide them in specific locations, so we had to be very mindful and figure out where they're located. For the steam itself, I use campfires. I'm going to use the campfire smoke because it'll be the perfect idea for a steam thing. Surrounding them are the diamond blocks. You have to patch up the pipes that have diamond blocks around them to cover them up to actually get one of the actual things done. Continuing through, you have an amusement park with Gremlin Tim trapped in a ticket booth, which is the one in the middle, in case you guys are wondering. When you defeat all the enemies, you get a pair of guardians. I did have to scrap the cutscene on tutorial of guardians and whatnot, but I'll explain about that anyway. Guardians find it challenging to figure out what you want to choose. So for this one, I decided to choose either Dog Attacker or Cat Defender. For the dogs, they're like wolves, for example. I used the thinner ones, like the little guardians, like in the gameplay it shows you tints, like are the paint versions, and terps are the thinner versions. I did Dog Attacker and Cat Defender for it because there's a whole lot of downsides for it. But like during testing, there was a considerable command issue. The dog or cat wasn't teleporting from level to level to where the player was. My beta tester and I discussed about what ideas we could use for guardians. He decided to use the Heart of the Sea and Slime Ball. This new idea was super helpful and way easier to handle. Plus, I even agreed on and added special effects to them anyway. But back to the actual pets themselves for the dog and cats. The actual downside about it is, like I said, like they're not teleporting and whatnot, and folks forget to actually have them like be at the right position and whatnot. And plus, cats cannot attack. They can only help you defend against like creepers and whatnot. So it's a no-go for that. But I did use actual like slime balls and Heart of the Sea because they're like the perfect fit for them. The slime ball, when dropped, it gives out an adverse effect to the enemies, which is your bloodlings, while the Heart of the Sea gives you a very positive effects, like special like boosters. Slime Ball Guardians give out Wither effect for 10 seconds to the enemies themselves, Once 10 seconds is up, you get it right back, but it's only like one use per at a time thing. So you can still drop the slime ball and the Heart of Sea both at once if you like. But just be very mindful about it. And also, around the 10 seconds, the enemy just completely goes away immediately. The Heart of Sea gives you positive effects like strength and resistance, which I chose on my perspective anyway. I think for the strength, I did like strength times 2, so it'll be a few more hits. And for the resistance, it's just like more protection and whatnot. But once you attain the Guardians and whatnot, you'll have the opportunity to talk to Tim. He will reply to you about some rides that malfunctioned. The two rides are the Elephant Ride, which is a reference to a Dumbo ride, and which is the one on the right hand side that looks like a big umbrella-like sculpture and whatnot. And the other one is a Spinning Cup Ride, which is a reference to Alice in Wonderland called Mad Tea Party, which is the one on the far left that looks like the small umbrella over there. While Gremlin Tim was fixing the rides, the Spatters, which I had to choose the Husks in this one anyway, I tried to use the zombies, but fortunately, there was a little bit of tiny issues with those guys, so I did use the Husk instead for that one. And also forgot to tell you guys, the Seers I used as the Silverfish in this one. The Spatters were summoned and trapped Gremlin Tim inside the ticket booth. You have two options to choose from. You can either help him out by fixing up the rides with a whole lot of requirements, or just continue on through the level if you like. But if you do decide to help Gremlin Tim out, you'll get the reward, which is a collectible pin. I scrapped the malfunctioning animation, but kept the building designs themselves. Me and my design builder discussed about some stuff, and my design builder is an expert on helping me out with a whole lot of detail work anyway. So it's really more helpful for me in my perspective. Continuing through the inside of the boat ride, which is continuing on through the next level and whatnot, while still part of the second level, the actual boat ride itself refers to an annoying, repeating ride that goes through the entire attraction of It's a Small World. Just going through that song 50 times in your head when you're in Disneyland or Disney World. It's so annoying. But we do enter inside that. You stopped in a section where all the boats get jammed. In the actual Wii game itself, there's two options of either fading the pipes or painting the hippo heads to get the door open. My only significant change is that you have to find the button to activate the door, but I did actually hit it, so you guys had to actually find it anyway. But once you do get access, you'll be introduced to a new bloodling type. Behold, the Sweeper. The Sweeper I used is normal skeletons because they use the range attack. Once you do defeat the Sweeper, there's a tiny little doorway which has a trapped gremlin in it. But for the Sweeper itself, I did do a little bit of ideas in mind. I thought I was going to use the Stray in this one, because I do believe in the 1.21 update for this one in Minecraft, they introduced the new skeleton type, which is the Bogged, but I already have one set for a specific area for it, so I'll tell you guys later on about that. So I had to scrap out the Stray in this one because it has a slowness arrow, which I do not want, because it's going to be difficult for players to jump through a whole lot of parkours. So I just did regular skeletons in this one. But continuing through about what I said about trapped gremlin in this one. There are 4 trapped gremlins to free. Gremlin Trigo, Hable, Hyperion, and Pinza. They're scattered around and had to be set free. Once you free all 4 gremlins in total, you get access to a collectible pin. But there are some changes from the mini Sweeper arena battle itself. When you do see a whole lot of platforming and whatnot with a whole bunch of stuff, because on the actual thing there's in the actual game you'll see there's a big door that are closed up and whatnot, and you'll see there's a whole bunch of valves in this one. In the game you must use the valves to turn off the platforms where the Sweeper is on, but from this one I decided just only have 3 platforms to retract from where the Sweeper is on from the platforms. And the 4th valve is just to open up the passageway, which enters you into the Asia boat ride. In the game as well too, if you rescue... I can't speak right. Also in the game, if you rescue Gremlin Trigo, Pinza, Hyperion, and Hable, you see them repositioning the platform where the collectible pin is. I did not do the actual cutscene for that stuff anyway, but I just did like if you just freed all 4 of those guys anyway, there'll be a little platform they'll unretract for you, and you get the pin entirely, like a little platform. But if you don't, then it'll just stay where it's at, and there'll be a cage locked up, and you can't even get it once you freed all those guys anyway. But moving right along, inside the tiny entrance, after you completed the mini arena sweeper battle, is a new activation challenge. This one has a whole bunch of challenges ideas, but it's more like a time-based challenge. Some areas are time-based, time trial challenge, or an activation mechanism. After you After activating it, more like which time-based challenge you have, you get access to the Ancient Boat Ride itself. The boat ride itself has 2 pathways for the exit. The primary long way is racing the fire bridge, which has a whole bunch of different more challenging parkour paths. For this one, it's more like a dragon-like bridge, like the Chinese New Year and whatnot, like Year of the Dragon or whatnot. But for the actual design build I did, it's just another brick bridge and whatnot. So after you race the fire bridge, it'll give you a quest completed in that one. Because in the actual game itself, in the Wii version, it has a whole bunch of gears you have to paint in, and it'll just race the entire bridge entirely for it. But for the actual thing itself, in the actual game, there's a bunch of gears you have to paint in, which I just already said. It will open up the passage that has a chest and also triggers the fire bridge. But for the actual chest itself, I made a little fun challenge upon when you complete the fire bridge quest. There's a trivia question type stuff. If you answer all 5 correctly, you get a super rare pin. It's kind of almost a little reference to like Baldi's Basics a little bit, but I decided just add it on there anyway. But the actual trivia itself is more like trivia questions for this game entirely of like when did I first build it? I mean, when did I actually start building this, and how many this and this are there, and what levels did I rage quit the most on because it's so difficult to get right and whatnot. But after that, once you gain access to the mechanism itself, you need to talk to Braun first, which is on top of the Patago building on the very top part of it. We'll ask you about like how to get access over there. We'll say something like a fire bridge. He will operate the boats for you, which leads you to another gremlin, which is Gremlin Herman. But this one will be your first introduction of gremlin payment. For this one, he will ask you to pay 10 money. I made the bridge mechanism where you will have a trident to throw at a lamp that activates a tiny bridge. After that, there's another time-based challenge. Complete that one, and the gate that is blocked by the reward chest will be open. For the other path, which is the quick and easy shortcut, this one is just freeing the gremlin and getting access to the upper level, where you must find a secret button. Same thing I believe I said previously, which I did not. There's 2 secret buttons, well technically 3 secret buttons in this one, where you have to find them and whatnot. 2 of them are hidden in the gears, and one of them is just like hidden inside a little boat ride section where the boats were jammed. For the first secret button hidden inside a gear, will give you a chest that's like on the very top part of the section on the roof, where you have to figure out how to get it. And then the second secret button with the gear in it again is just a little bit of parkour clouds, which leads you over to the exit. I do apologize, like I said, if my developer commentary is a little bit more confusing and whatnot, because there's a whole bunch of stuff I may skip on, and a whole lot of stuff I said as well too. But anyways, that will conclude part 2 of my game build developer commentary for Minecraft in general from my perspective. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye, Lightning Strike.